Hello everybody, welcome back to my little corner of the internet. Pray you're all doing wonderful and are keeping in extremely good health and in perfect happiness. So hope you're well, hope you had a fantastic and love-filled Valentine's. It's been a while since I caught up with you. It's been like 13 days, and I genuinely missed each and every one of you. Pray you're well. And today we're going to just continue to hit the ground running, obviously, with all things holistic wellness, personal development, self-care. If you haven't caught up with some of the videos, I am going to link the compilation up there so that you can watch them at your leisure, and I do hope you find them very helpful and useful, because I have really been enjoying the holistic self-care tips, because holistic self-care obviously is the one that is going to take care of the mind, the body, and the spirit, which leads me to this brilliant find. I picked this book up, the Road Less Traveled, probably last year, if I'm not mistaken. I am obviously a book lover, and I read book voraciously. So this book was from a donation shelf. Some of the malls, they do have donation shelves, and this was such a brilliant find because it was written in 1976 or 78, if I'm not mistaken, and it is almost 50 years old, and it is fantastic. It says here that The Road Less Traveled, a new psychology of love, tradition, values, and spiritual growth. If you've been here for a while, you know I'm not so big on self-help books, but I believe when the student is ready, the master appears.
So you've come to the master for guidance? Is this what you're saying, Grasshopper?
And it so happened with this book because it's been sitting on my shelf, and as you can see, the pages are quite yellow, and so I've been thoroughly enjoying it. And one thing I love about M. Scott's writing style is that it really feels like he's speaking to you on a one-on-one basis. It's like you're in a therapy session, and you really get to simplify the steps you can take to bring the change that you're seeking. So in the coming days, in the coming weeks, we are really going to be sitting down together and inhaling the pages, as one of my absolute favorite YouTubers said. We're going to be reading together, inhaling the pages. And so chapter by chapter, I don't want it to be overwhelming, because we have to simplify the way we do things, and also we have to be intentional about our healing, and also about protecting our energy, protecting our peace, and our being mindfulness, and protecting our mental health. So like I said in my other video, that we really have to aim at it, because it's one thing to be like, let's just be happier, let's protect our mental health, but how exactly are we doing that? Can we really break it down? And I just found this book to be another useful tool that we all can obviously use on our healing journeys, and on our obviously personal development, and yes, confronting the things that are confronting our problems and pain. I'm a Taurus. We invented stubbornness, and I'm not saying this, I'm not wearing this as a badge of honor, because it really can be painful. Some of the lessons that I end up learning are extremely difficult to learn. So I do understand the complications and the level of pain that comes with stubbornness, that comes with avoiding pain, that comes with procrastination. I am there. I honestly can testify that it's not the easiest curriculum to go through. And like I said, when the student is ready, the master does appear. So we are all, like I said, trying to be the best versions of ourselves. And so this book starts off with pain. He says life is difficult, and this is the truth. This is probably one of the greatest truths ever told, and it is true, because no matter what we do, no matter where you are in your life, on your journey, you are going to experience some pain. On this realm that we came in, it's one thing to obviously be as much as you can, scale the mountain as much as you can. Even if you do scale the mountain in the manner of Bobby Axelrod, there's going to be a Chuck waiting for you. There's going to be a Prince waiting for you.
Nothing to stop him from making mistakes.
There's going to be, you're going to lose some things. You're going to lose some friendships. You're going to lose some money. You're going to lose some acquaintances.
I tried. You tried. And now I'm fired. Goodbye, my fee.
You're going to lose some deals. So even if you do get to the summit on top of the mountain, there is going to be a devil waiting for you, because such is life. There's always going to be something that is going to come and just knock you off your game. Even Superman, he had his kryptonite. So everybody has their kryptonite. Everybody knows where they hurt and where you feel the pain. Even if it's giving birth to a child, there is going to be pain. Even it's going to be messy, it's going to be painful. You're going to sweat, you're going to cry, and some things are going to tear as well. Even if it's a C-section, you're still going to need time to rehabilitate yourself and heal yourself. So all those things in life, there's going to be, like I said, we cannot run away from the pain. And even if you look at, I would say, some of our absolute favorite fairy tales in history, there is a grain of truth in a lot of them. And according to Geralt in The Witcher, he said there is a grain of truth in each and every fairy tale, and it's about, at the end of the day, it's about love or blood. So whatever you look at it, there's going to be obviously that transformation with every problem. It's either there's going to be love or there's going to be blood. And also the prince, before he rescues the damsel, he has to fight a dragon. He has to conquer the evil stepmother. We also get to meet, even if you look at from the Bible, we look at amazing, brilliant people like David. David had to slay his Goliath. David had his own Goliath, and even after Goliath, there was always something that he had to overcome. And we have to look at David as well on his journey when he became king. He had to bring in Mephibosheth. He did wonderful things, and he placed Mephibosheth, who was an orphan and abandoned and crippled. He had to bring him into his house and treated him like a king as well, and fed him and sat with him and dined with him. But despite that, David also endured pain. He had to bury his son that he had with Bathsheba, whom the people never forgot was still Uriah's wife. Now, there is no escaping the pain. And also we get to see even our favorite hobbit as well, Bilbo and the dwarves, when they were in Middle-earth, overcoming obstacles. And when they finally got to Lonely Mountain, who was waiting for them, safeguarding the treasure? It was Smaug.
How do you choose to die?
And they had to fight this dragon, and there was blood everywhere, and they had to conquer that. So we can actually see that, even like I said, the stories that inspired us, that shape us in history. Even Heathcliff himself, look at the drama and the pain he brought to the Lintons. And Catherine, he loved Catherine, but look at how he treated her. By the way, that's from Wuthering Heights. I'm going to dive deeper into that book another time. So it is just the way life is. The Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, all those stories, they just announced to us that before the victory, there is going to be pain. So here, Mr. Scott says, life is a series of problems. Do we want to mourn about them, or do we want to solve them? Do we want to teach our children how to solve these problems? Discipline is the basic set of tools we require to solve life's problem. Without discipline, we solve nothing. With some discipline, we solve some problems. And with a lot of discipline, we can solve a lot of our problems. And this is where it gets a bit dicey, because a lot of us, we are not disciplined. I am not disciplined, like I'm saying, because of my stubbornness, number one, and number two, we want the easy road. We want to avoid the pain. And the problem with that is that it's going to create a mask, and then we're going to create these masks, we're going to create these layers of protection because we just want to avoid the pain. It's either we forget about it, we ignore it, we don't look at it, we don't confront it, and that's where a lot of our problems arises, because we could be a lot further than we are if we had the courage to actually face that which is confronting us, to actually face smog, to actually have the courage to climb the mountain, and in the manner of Master Bilbo. But Bilbo had to climb the mountain with Sam. Yes, he had the elves helping him. Yes, he had the all-knowing, the wise Gandalf to help him and guide him. But when it came to doing the hard thing, to actually destroying the ring, it was up to Baggins, Master Baggins. And also, like I said, he had the help of his friends, of Sam, of Gandalf. When it came down to it, when it came to actually going into the holies of holies of your whatever kryptonite it is, you have to go in by yourself. So that's why it's important to be disciplined. It could be that you want to work out more, it could be that you want to save more, it could be that you want to find a significant other. All those things are going to require a certain level of discipline, because it's not going to come by wishing for it and just praying about it, because faith without works is absolutely dead. So whatever areas of our lives we need more discipline, we really need to hone in on that and actually remove our masks and confront ourselves and confront even the way we sabotage things and situations and opportunities, because we're afraid of pain, and also maybe our pain is standing in the way, and then we recoil in our horror, and we put on our mask, and then we find ways to cope. It could be that we end up drinking more, smoking more, we end up, I don't know, just hiding our potential, hiding our desires, because we don't feel like we're worthy. And A Course in Miracles also said, God send me someone wonderful is a prayer. Like, that's how we do it, right? We say, God, please send me somebody wonderful, but without realizing that the prayer should be, God send me somebody wonderful, but also help me to realize that I am also someone wonderful. And that someone wonderful means that he has to be disciplined, he has to be diligent in whatever it is or her purpose is, basically. What makes life difficult is that the process of confronting and solving problems is a painful one. Depending upon the nature, evoke in us frustration or grief or sadness or loneliness or guilt or regret or anger or fear or anxiety or anguish or despair. These are uncomfortable feelings, often very uncomfortable and painful, basically as painful as physical pain. Yes, it's going to hurt to be disciplined. Yes, it's going to hurt to, obviously, like I said, remove the mask and really see our horrors. But the more we see that, the more we let in the light, the darkness is going to dispel, and that is the only way, because without light we are still going to be in darkness. And the other thing to remember about darkness is that darkness is not there to, you don't have to judge the darkness. So that means you don't have to be hard on yourself. So when you see the areas that needs the light, instead of judging it, you can actually take actionable steps to rectify the damage, rectify the pain, instead of avoiding the pain, because the darkness is not meant to be judged. It is meant to just highlight where you need to bring the light, basically. It's like, what can I say? When you have a crush on somebody, we all been there, like you have a crush on a guy, you like this guy, and every time you are in his proximity or he's around you, he's talking to you, it's either you say something stupid, right? Or it's either you stumble, it's either you mumble, it's either you it's weird when you are confronted with somebody that you love or like, you have a crush on basically. So the same way, and then afterwards, after the conversation, you would literally go like, what was I thinking? That was stupid. How could I say that? And then you keep on replaying your words over and over again. So that's the same with us bringing the light to any area of our lives where there is pain. We really just need to obviously zoom in on the issue, not in a judgmental way, but in a loving way, so that we can start doing the rehabilitation, we can start doing the healing, we can start applying discipline on that specific area that needs light. So instead of judging the darkness, see the darkness as your friend and let it announce to you what needs healing, what needs the light. Problems are the cutting edge that distinguishes between success and failure. Problems call forth our courage and our wisdom. Indeed, it's our courage and wisdom. It is only because of problems that we grow mentally and spiritually. When we desire to encourage the growth of the human spirit, we challenge it and encourage the human capacity to solve the problem. So there is that secret ingredient in our problems, isn't it? Like when you really confront them, when you really go through the fire.
Wow. So this is what it is to lose.
You're going to be purified, and it's going to really give you strength and fortitude and wisdom as well. And more importantly, you're going to grow spiritually, and you're going to realize, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of the death, I shall fear no evil, for God is with me. And it builds our fortitude, it builds our immune system, and we just become the best versions because we have confronted our Goliath, we have slayed the smog, we have slayed the dragon, we have gone up the mountain, and we have overcome so much. That's the beauty of it. It really builds our spiritual muscle, makes us stronger.
That I consider a win.
In school as well, when they used to give us equations, calculus, all those problems, they're not there to hurt us, they're there to just help us think better, help us become mentally stronger, help us become more disciplined, and really find a solution and work on these issues. They're not there to hurt us, they're just there, like I said, to really make us more wise and wiser and better versions of ourselves, so that we can be good for ourselves, and also we can also be of better service to those people that are counting on us. As Benjamin Franklin says, those things, they don't hurt, they instruct. So that's how we're supposed to be seeing them. Instead of avoiding and hiding and cowering and just avoiding altogether, we can simply confront the problems, and in confronting them, we become the best versions of ourselves. And according to Carl Jung, he said neurosis is always a substitute for legitimate suffering. So our craziness, the things that we use, is it doom scrolling? Are we drinking too much? Are we binge eating? Are we having the spirit of midnight snacking, according to Iyanla Van Zant? Yes. And so that's the beauty of confronting these things, because our neuroses have become our wounds, or our wounds have become our neuroses. So we just need to find a way to keep on bringing in the light and being gentle on ourselves and being more disciplined, because only you know the desires of your heart, and it is up to you to go after that which you want by being disciplined and by confronting the pain. And then he says, but the substitute itself ultimately becomes more painful, and the legitimate suffering it was designed to avoid. The neurosis itself becomes the biggest problem. True to form, many will then attempt to avoid this pain and this problem, in turn building layers upon layers of neurosis. Fortunately, however, some possess the courage to face their neurosis and begin, usually with the help of a therapist. If you have access to therapy, definitely you should do it, but there's so many ways to heal as well. Therapy is fantastic, and also you can obviously again build your spiritual muscle. You can talk to friends. whatever it is that can help you on your journey, by all means enlist the help and work on your stuff. In any case, when you avoid the legitimate suffering that results from dealing with problems, we also avoid the growth that problems demand from us. It is for this reason that in chronic mental illness, we all stop growing. We become stuck, and without the healing, the human spirit begins to shrivel. And this is the truth, because our pain can really become our worst enemies, and then we stay stuck in situations and circumstances that no longer saves us. And it's sad, because when you are living in fear, when you're living in pain, it means you cannot express your God-given gifts the way you're supposed to, because pain is taken over. It is all that there is, and ways we try to numb it and avoid the pain, they're just going to make the situation worse. Therefore, let us inculcate in ourselves and in our children the means to achieving mental and spiritual health, and this is by doing the work and by being more disciplined. And then he finishes the chapter by saying, what are these tools, these techniques of suffering, these means of experiencing the pain of problem constructively? That is what I call discipline. There are 4 types of healing processes he's going to be taking us through: delayed gratification, acceptance of responsibility, dedication of truth, and balancing. So as you can see, these are not complex tools, but he's going to, like I said, walk through the book with us and really explain to us how we can obviously practice delayed gratification and acceptance of responsibility. So the problem lies not in complexity of these tools, but the will to use them. For they are the tools with which pain is confronted rather than avoided. And if one seeks to avoid legitimate suffering, then one will avoid the use of these tools. Therefore, after analyzing each of these tools, we shall in the next section examine them with love. As with all things, love obviously is going to be the secret ingredient, even with, like I said, with fairy tales. It's either love or blood, right? So I'm so excited to be going into the road less traveled and really take the lessons that he brings. I feel like they're going to be actionable steps. And also, even Paulo Coelho in The Alchemist, he said, tell your heart that the fear of suffering is worse than the suffering itself. And I am super excited that this is going to be extremely instrumental. So that being said, love one another, take care of one another, be kind to one another. If nothing else, I shall be seeing you in my next video. Bye.